gosh. So I am Italian, if you can't tell by now. You know what's really funny is little old ladies will come up to me and say, you know what? You look like somebody. And I'm like, Jeff Goldblum, the guy from The Fly? They're like, no, but that's good. I said, a member of the mafia? They're like, that's it. And I'm like, how very stereotypical of you, you senile old bat. But yes, I'm Italian. Any Italians here in the house tonight? Wow, that's it? Where are the rest of you? Us at Syracuse at the Olive Garden? Because we're family. Listen, there are two kinds of Italians, all right? Italians that believe the Olive Garden is Italian, and the rest of us who know it's not Italian. You don't see an Olive Garden in Utica, New York, do you? We don't want one here. We don't welcome you at all. So, being Italian is cool because my mom was a great cook, and my sisters had way too much facial hair. I'm not kidding you. I'm not being stereotypical. You know I'm telling you the truth, right? Have you guys heard the joke? This is not my joke, but why do Italian men grow beards and mustaches? So they can look like their mothers. So, my mom was a great cook until she made liver. Anybody ever eaten liver in their life? Okay, it should not be allowed for human consumption. I'm really sorry. So, this is how bad it was. So my mom just couldn't find a way to cook liver well. So my dad was always on time for dinner, except on liver night. And he knew when she was cooking liver. So he would like work overtime, conveniently, stroll in about 8 o'clock. He's like, did I miss liver again? I'm like, yeah, Dad. But I wrapped up the leftovers, and it's in the fridge, and heat it up in the microwave. He gets all Jackie Gleason, he's like, shut up. Bang, zoom. So my mom hated when we wasted food. And the only time I ever wasted food was liver night. So I said, Mom, can I be excused from the table? She goes, not till you eat the rest of that liver. I'm like, the rest of it? I gave the first half to the dog, and I think the dog, yes, is dead under the table. And then, you know what? Italian moms are great at laying down the guilt trip. She's like, you know, I slaved over a hot stove for you. And she goes, this is the thanks I get right here. She goes, you know, there's starving kids in Africa who would love the rest of your liver. I'm like, you know what? Can we try that out? Can we get an overnight envelope and some dry ice and pack it in there? And I guess she would address it to starving kids, Africa, and they would know right where to deliver it. And then get it in Africa the next day and go, what is this? You know, with some clicks in there. And they're like, I'm not eating this. I'd rather have the flies that are on my face. I'm telling you, it's bad. I'm sorry. My dad is great because he loved his alcohol. Italians love your alcohol, right? Your wine especially. And my dad was frugal. He wasn't cheap, but he was frugal. Bought wine by the gallon. I think pink Catawba was the poison of choice. But it was cool because we're allowed to drink as kids. And he hated when we wasted alcohol. So I said, Dad, can I be excused from the table? He goes, not till you finish the last few sips of that wine. I'm like, are you kidding me, Dad? Are there like sober kids in Africa who would love the rest of my wine or something? I don't know. Frugal. Here's the difference between being frugal and being cheap, in case you ever wondered, right? Because some people say they're cheap, some people say they're frugal. Frugal is looking for the best deal on toilet paper. Nothing wrong with that, okay? Nothing wrong with even using a coupon for toilet paper. Cheap is my friend Gary, who told me that he only uses 6 of those little sheets maximum per bowel movement. I'm like, dude, we shook hands when you came over. Did you wash after? Because that's bad. So, my dad went through one of these phases. Anybody smoke cigarettes here? Any cigarette smokers at all? Yeah, a few of you. Cigarettes are like, I don't know, $8 or $10 a pack. I feel sorry for you guys, I really do. So my dad, because cigarettes have always been expensive, he had this idea he was going to save money and buy a cigarette rolling machine. You know, got his tobacco and his rolling papers. And he's like all, you know, smug and stuff. You know, I'm saving money, I'm smart. I look at him and I go, Dad, are there any filters on those cigarettes? He's like, who needs a filter? Like, apparently you do, because you're one step away from the poison spots. I'm like, hey, sing that song for me, would you? You don't always die from tobacco. All right, you remember that song? Sometimes they just sip out your tongue. It was so bad, man. So bad.